I don't need these. Now I just look like Cary Grant. Uh, Warren Beatty, whatever you want to use. So,
works for me.
it's so funny. When a song gets me, when a song really gets me, I was sitting there thinking to myself, what gets me? What's getting me? You know, when the emotions come up, what is that? What is tapping into me? And it's kind of what my whole talk is about today, really. So I'm going to go to the lyrics. First of all, this Christmas. And I love the lyric, the ghost of Christmas past is gone. Can you sit here today and say that all of your ghosts of Christmas past are gone? Okay, bye-bye. I can't help this group. I looked out and here's what I saw. No. It was so funny. Wow, okay. So, okay. I'm going to ask that question at the end of the talk, see how we did. Right. So, and also the other one too. The ghost of Christmas future is no longer scary. Anybody have that going on? The future? What's going to happen in the future? You know? Did you just get what that meant? Bonnie just went, oh yeah, that's me. I got that. So the ghost of Christmas future isn't scary. You know, as we move this center to its new location, you know, it's where? Really? When I know, I'll tell you. And it's not scary. I had a beautiful gift given to me this week by one of my doctors that just stay on top of the cancer I had many Christmas pasts ago. And he said to me, you know, have you ever heard, he was talking about the Kabbalah, and he said, you know, have you ever heard of the Satan? Well, I mean, obviously it's pretty easy to go Satan, Satan, devil, got it. I said, yeah, it's the devil, right? He says, yeah, but it's that Satan that's on your shoulder. I said, yeah, like Bugs Bunny. The devil, the angel, talking to him. I said, I get it. We all get it. He said, well, here's the deal. He said, you know, nothing would be scary if you just get rid of that thing. And that's what we study in the Kabbalah, how to let go of the voice of the Satan. He said, it's the thing that stops us all from moving into the future. It's the thing that stops us all. We second guess ourselves. Anybody here second guess yourself? We second guess ourselves. This is definitely the group that needs me today. So, yeah. Except I need me today. So, yeah, we second guess ourselves. We allow thoughts, and I loved the meditation. That was just so brilliant, Lisa Johnson. The meditation, the Meryl Streep quote, which was something, I'll paraphrase it, but it was, we need to get rid of the things that stop us. We need to let go of all the things that stop us, especially the ones in our head. That's what it is. So the ghost of Christmas future isn't scary. And then, of course, the ghost of Christmas present is the present. What a great lyric. The ghost of Christmas present is the present. So I'm going to ask you to fearlessly right now, I want you to look at your present. Your present life right now. I want you to look at the life you're living in, the body you're living in, the world you're living in. I want you to look at your present. And then I want you to ask yourself, you know, this is the last Sunday before Christmas, or before the last day of Hanukkah, which is Wednesday, Christmas Eve. So, or whatever you're celebrating, we're right towards the end of it and towards the apex of it. So I just want you to ask yourself, what's this Christmas all about for you? What is this Christmas all about for you? And again, there I am getting totally, something is tapping into me, because I know that for me this year, Christmas is all about really getting out of my way. Just getting out of my own way, whatever that means. And I'm not somebody that gets in my way that often. But there's something in me saying, get out of your way. I mean, I go to a doctor and he tells me to get my Satan off my shoulder. So clearly the universe is reaching out, speaking to us. So what is this Christmas about for you? How many of you are flying out of town, going home or something for Christmas? Okay, I'm not. Great. So Where are you going? What are you taking with you? What are you going to find? And for those of you who are staying here, what is this Christmas season? What is this holiday season all about for you? Because the truth is, whether it's Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, or nada, if you're not celebrating anything, right? I have a question, which is, in this holiday season, what are you allowing to be your experience? So it's one thing to say, what is this Christmas about for me? It's another one to decide what this Christmas is about for me and then allow it. And not be thrown around by the craziness of the holiday season, especially traveling and going to family. You know, there's a reason why our family is called our relatives. In this teaching, we talk about the relative and the absolute. And I very often say you must get rid of your relatives in order to live in the absolute. But what we're realizing now is, no, the relatives are the absolute at the level of the relative. So the question is, where are you willing to take your absolute mind as you step into the relative world of Christmas? So, this morning, I awoke at 5 o'clock to travel here, and I got in my car, and it was dark. Within a few moments of driving on the 10, no, the 111, I saw a sunset in my rearview mirror. A sunrise. Could you imagine a sunset? I was up drinking a lot last night, and there was a sunrise in my rearview mirror. And as I looked at it, well, first of all, I couldn't look at it too long because I was trying to drive forward. But it occurred to me that the sunrise was behind me. And it did that thing. It touched me. And it was a beautiful sunrise in the desert. And as I contemplated it, and I could see it every now and then, I felt like I was, and I'm just trying to imagine this, I felt like the sun was coming up this way within me, and I was like at the top of a wave. And the wave was just being moved by this amazing ocean and pushing it towards a shore that was literally going to be where I arrived. And as I drove, I could feel myself being engulfed by this beautiful sunrise. Now, as you know, as you're riding on a sunrise, eventually the sun rises. It's a 2-hour drive. So the sun keeps going up and up and up, till eventually it's sort of above me, and all of a sudden, the sunrise was no longer behind me. It was on the right and left of me. And then all of a sudden, it was in front of me. And then all of a sudden, everywhere I looked, rear view, side view, front view, back view, no matter where I looked, the entire beingness of my present moment was just one big sunrise. And it was so gorgeous. And in that moment, the mountains, and I don't know the names of them, although I've been here for many years, probably the San Bernardino Mountains. Is that right? Okay, anyway, whatever. Some set of mountains just arose out of the ground, and all this snow was on top. So now I'm in the midst of this sunrise, and all this snow is on top, and all of a sudden, I just heard myself singing Christmas carols. I mean, I didn't decide to sing Christmas carols. I mean, my children say I sing it at a moment's notice anyway. Usually they're Broadway tunes, though. So this was somewhat shocking. It was just Christmas carols. And I'm in the car, and I really got this understanding that we are on the crest of something enormous here. Not just at this center, although this center is really on the crest of something amazing in what we are knowing. But each one of you is on the crest of something so profound, so big, so amazing. And it is right there in the depth of you. It is right in the center of you. And it is in this Christmas season, it has come forward to literally present us with the present, with the gift. But you know, I suppose I could have not noticed this morning. How often do we go through our lives where we don't notice what's in the rearview mirror? We don't notice what's above us. We don't notice what's beside us. But we also notice things in our life that may not be like a sunrise. And we take our focus and put it on those things. Any of you have those things that you could possibly put your focus on? Imagine putting your focus on those things through the eyes of a sunrise. What would it do you think? What would your life look like if everything you saw in your life was predicated on a belief, an absolute belief, that no matter where you looked, there was sun, there was light, there was love, there was truth. The title of my talk today is Living the Belief. And the belief I'm talking about is oneness. That's what we come every week here to celebrate, oneness. To understand that we are one with the power of love, we are one with the power of light, we are one with the power of life, we are one with the power of passion and success, creativity. We are one with all of that. Just like a sunrise, we allow ourselves to be engulfed by all of those things. What if we were engulfed with all of those things in life? No matter what. No matter what was being presented. So, how do you live in that belief? Because that's really the question, isn't it? And that's the title of my talk, Living the Belief. It's one thing to have the belief. It's another thing to live the belief. How many of you already know what I'm talking about? Just raise your hand if you know what I'm talking about. Okay. Now, you don't know what I'm talking about? He's like, yes, I do. My hand's tired. You know what I'm talking about. Now, I'm not going to ask for a show of hands. Raise the hand in your mind. Are you living what you know? Really living what you know at all times? And that's at all times. Because you know what? I think it's possible to live what we know at all times. I think it's possible to know what we know even in the midst of what we wish we didn't know. I think it's possible to know what we know when we're watching CNN, seeing what we wish we weren't seeing. I think it's possible to never, ever lose sight of oneness and to constantly be involved in, engulfed in, one with that eternal sunrise that is our mind at all times, no matter what. So, I was on the internet this week working on this talk, and I don't know where it came from, how I landed on it. I really don't know where this poem came from and how I found it. But the minute I found it, I must have been looking for something and this popped up. And I read it and I was like, oh my God, this is exactly what I'm talking about. And some of you may have already heard this poem. It's a famous poem by Maya Angelou. And it's this. So take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. And just let these words fall over you, okay? The free bird leaps on the back of the wind and floats downstream till the current ends and dips his wings in the orange sun rays and dares to claim the sky. But a bird that stalks down his narrow cage can seldom see through his bars of rage. His wings are clipped and his feet are tied, so he opens his throat to sing. The caged bird sings with fearful thrill of the things unknown but longed for still, and his tune is heard on the distant hill, for the caged bird sings of freedom. The free bird thinks of another breeze, and the trade winds soft through the sighing trees, and the fat worms waiting on a dawn-bright lawn, and he names the sky his own. But a caged bird stands on the grave of dreams. His shadow shouts on a nightmare scream. His wings are clipped and his feet are tied, so he opens his throat to sing. The caged bird sings with a fearful trill of things unknown but longed for still, and his tune is heard on the distant hill, for the caged bird sings of freedom. Just take a deep breath. Just let that sit for a minute. I think the difference between understanding this science and living this science is as profound as the difference between living in a cage and being free to do what you want to do. I think it's that big a difference. And I think what Ernest Holmes said towards the end of his life when he said, "We have learned enough through suffering. We have learned enough through intelligence. It is time to open our hearts and sing and fly." I think it's time for us, really time for us. This whole year was, I am awake. I am awake. Okay, so we are awake now. We have our eyes open. We see what there is to see. We know what there is to know. But perhaps we're still seeing it through cages. Perhaps we're still seeing it through fear. The fear of taking flight. Perhaps we're still seeing it with a belief system that doesn't know what we have the possibility of doing and the capability of doing. These are all the things that I believe this sunrise this morning brought to me. As I drove and I continued to drive, I kept hearing, "You are so free, James. You can do anything you want to do. You can allow anything you wish to allow into your life." So today I'm really here to tell you about living your beliefs. Not living the beliefs that are holding you back. We live those really well. Don't we? We're really good at living the beliefs that say, "Oh, don't do that. That might not turn out well. Be safe. Stay home. Be comfortable. Stay in your cage. Someone will feed you in your cage. If you go out, you may have to go looking for food. And you know where you are here. If you go out of this cage, you don't know what you're going to find. What you may find is this glorious sky. What you may find is the unlimited possibility that life is here to offer you. This science, what we offer here, what we are studying, all of us, what we know that Ernest Holmes brought to us from all the great teachers, Jesus, of course, being primary to him, all of the great wisdom in the world is put together in the science of mind to understand that everything is possible. All of that learning and understanding is one thing. Living it is an entirely different thing. Yes? Yes. So it's really time for us to not just be awake, but to literally wake up. Meaning wake up, unlimited pure potentiality, unlimited possibility. So, when I marry a couple, whenever I marry a couple, I always say to the bride and groom right before the wedding, right before the ceremony is about to start, I take them aside, and anybody here I've married? Who said us? John. Oh, of course, John. So you two know this. So I always take them aside and I say, be present throughout this entire service. Be willing to feel what you feel. Don't care about how it's unfolding. Just be fully present and let this be the most magnificent day of your life up to this point. And I always love when the brides and grooms that I marry, as they come down the aisle and as the groom's usually standing with me, I watch them really keep staying present with one another and with me and with everything that's going on. So Karen's song is really about saying to ourselves, the greatest gift we can give ourselves is to stay present. Really stay present. Present with what I know, present with my decision to live what I know, and present with everything else that's going on so that I can consciously be awake enough to know what I know and know what I know about what I'm looking at. So that's the gift. That's the great gift of this teaching. And what I know for this center is that I am really very passionately interested in bringing this science to a living situation for every single person that understands it. That it's not enough to just understand it, but it is time to really, really, really live it. And that's the Christ consciousness that is born within all of us as we contemplate that. Advent, the expectation of something great, knowing that something is being born inside of me. Do you feel something being born inside of you? Yes. Do you know that there is something inside of you? And if you don't, all you have to do is get out of the way and knock off these Satans. Knock off, ye Satan! Just get rid of all the naysayers. Get rid of anyone in your life that tells you you can't. I don't mean get rid of them like knock them off and kill them, unless that's what you need to do. What I mean is just know who you are spending your time with. I have a very, very short list of 2 people that I like in this world. And no, I have a very short list of 2 people that I go to when I need to talk. Because for the most part, my mind knows what it's doing. And I know what I'm doing. And I have an internal guide, and I have an intuitive knower in me that always pretty much tells me exactly what to do, where to go, and how to act. But there are moments when I need to let it out. And so one of those people are here today, and then another one that I call on the phone. And it is so important to me to know that not only is there something inside of me that is just bursting to get out, but that I'm actually willing to let it. And that's what I want to ask you too. Are you willing to let it? Are you willing to dare? Which is in that poem. Are you willing to dare? Are you caged and singing of what your dream may be? Or are you free and living what you know is yours to dream? 2 different things, 1 choice. So you have to give yourself the present and open the cage door and sing for what you are, not for what you aren't. You get that? Sing for what you are, not for what you aren't. Remember, you are riding on the crest of this energy of life. That's what we are. We're only energy. That's all we are. So when I've experienced and felt that surge in me, when I looked in the rearview mirror and felt that sunrise, it's because I am the sunrise. And I could feel it coming up through me. When Karen sings her song and I get all verklempt, I remember my Jewish heritage. And I can feel that. I know what that is. That is that thing in me that knows who I am and says, have at me. Let those tears flow, those tears of joy. Let your emotions just take you where they're going to take you. Hallelujah. So, remember, even if you can't see it in front of you, it may be right in your rearview mirror. Because it's literally behind you pushing, coming from behind saying, come on, there you go. There you go, girl. If it's not in your rearview mirror, maybe it's risen above you, saying, come up to me. Come up here where it's all clear. And maybe, if it's not above you, maybe it has so engulfed you, it is so one with you, that it's this person standing in front of you. That it's the mirror that you look into. That it's the friend you call when you need help. And you don't need to see the visible signs because what's inside is more important. The free bird leaps on the back of the wind and floats downstream till the current ends and dips his wings in the orange sun rays and dares to claim the sky. Not just use it, but claim it as his own. So in this Christmas season, this holiday season, what I know for you is that you have decided in your heart and in the deepest part of your being to claim the sky as your own because you are the sky. Namaste. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.